Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm doing something much different from my normal videos. I was inspired by ItsBlackFriday's cooking videos that she made, and I wanted to make an all black pasta. And my husband is the cook of the family, so he's going to join me, and he's going to be the one doing all the work pretty much. I will be back with my husband, and we're going to make some Gothic pasta. Let's just jump right into the video.
I'm going to put a plate over here so stuff can be out of the way, because obviously you're going to be over there doing this.
I'm taking your supernatural palette because there's a color in it that matches my dress.
It's gonna rain today.
You're right, Mama. These are garbage. Never mind.
Right, this is it's the squid ink pasta.
And it's spaghetti. I thought it was fettuccine.
And that's the only kind of black pasta I could find. The video that I'm copying, she used more like I guess it was like macaroni type pasta, but she also lived in Germany and hers came from...
You probably had some...
No, she ordered off of the Amazon, but it was German. Smile.
For those of you that watch Top Gear, well, now we're alone viewers, I can be honest. My apologies to James May for my appalling attempt at his accent. And now we're going to crush up some garlic. This recipe traditionally calls for 2 garlic cloves, but we're going to put more in, because more garlic in your life is a good thing, I think. Fucking dirty trick. Put your garlic in something like this. Shake it really fast for about 20 or 30 seconds. It will take the skins off, save you some time. She's back, I have to behave.
I'm just here to supervise.
You're just here to supervise? I'm literally just cooking and you're supervising. To make sure I don't like flash the camera or something. Alright, so this we'll set to about there. Maybe a bit more.
You want to see what you're doing?
You want to see what I'm doing, buddy? You want to see what I'm doing? We're cooking fettucine alfredo for Mommy. So this is the slowest part, is actually getting the onions and the garlic to where they're cooked right. Then everything's a little bit quicker. This is Romano cheese, and with the way these are made at Walmart, I tend to like to cut the top off of it, just because that part tends to be a little bit bitter, and sometimes they'll put like a preservative thing on it, and it's just...
Oh, so that's not for me to eat, that's just throwing it away?
Yeah, that's going away. And we're going to use about half of each one of these blocks.
Only half?
Only half, so you can eat the other half.
Why don't we use more?
Because you don't want that much cheese in this recipe. I would have to double the recipe to use that much cheese. And besides there, you can eat the other half.
Okay.
These are hard cheeses.
He's completely oblivious to all of the stares and people making fun of us and everything because we look a little different than all these other backwoods hicks.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, I'm sure we look weird when we're going to watch our daughter's show choir performances because she's a senior and we got all these happy dandy redneck people up there.
Because you're not in a suit or a button-up shirt and trousers, and I'm not in like a flowery Sunday dress.
Well, as Adam Sandler once said in Happy Gilmore, if I saw myself wearing that, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Jose over there hoping there's something that's going to...
Jose's just doing the hopeful,
hopeful
Jose thing.
Look at him.
Hey, buddy. How are you? Okay, so this is starting to smell good.
And we got the pots ready for the pasta. And when you put this on last?
Yeah, that's just for garnishing. If you want it, you don't have to put it on there. But Italian flat parsley gives it almost a citrusy little zing that I like. Okay, so we're going to cheat when it comes to grating the cheese. This will be loud to the people on YouTube. I apologize. Is this filming? Am I talking to myself?
No, you're talking to me.
I'm talking to people? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the water for this, just because that's going to take a few minutes to heat up, and I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to do with eggs.
And this is how I help.
She helps with tequila. Right, so what we're doing now is I'm separating these eggs, and this little bit of yolk doesn't want to go away. And the reason I'm doing that is if you add about 1 egg yolk per cup of heavy cream when you make this, it thickens the sauce up just a little bit, and it makes it a little bit less runny. Now we're going to use a little over 2 cups of heavy cream, so I'm going to use 3 eggs.
It's not that I can't cook. He just really enjoys doing it. So I let him.
This is not for the recipe. This is for the chef. Yes, you have to drink when you cook because, as Chef Isaac Tubesworth said, cooking sober is just a travesty. Because when you cook this, I take it beyond, what they call sweat or whatever. I want it a little bit mushy. That way, even though it's still going to cook for a few minutes more, it won't be strong, and if you bite into it, it won't taste bitter or really oniony, or we're out of focus. Is that just because I'm moving? Okay, so now we're going to add 1 stick, and I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. We're going to add 1 stick of, you can use salted or unsalted butter. I'm using salted. And this, if you ever get a wooden cooking spoon, get one that's flat at some point, because it's easy for pushing all this stuff around. Oh, and can I request that the supervisor do something?
What?
Can the supervisor open the bottle of wine?
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Oh, yeah, she has no problem doing that.
You must have that on really low heat.
Yeah, because otherwise the onions and the garlic will burn. They need to cook long enough to get really soft and beyond translucent. But if I put them on... Okay. I thought you broke the corkscrew there for a second. It looked weird.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've got it on... Yeah, I mean, it's on medium low right now. I'm going to turn it up here in a minute because I'll need it hot enough to burn the alcohol off the wine. But I don't want it to... I have to cook the garlic and the onion so because garlic's got a really low smoke point. So it'll burn a little bit easier. I have something on eBay. Ending soon. Do I want this 10-inch radio arm saw? Part of me, I've wanted a radio arm saw for years, but they don't use them much anymore. So I can't really justify that expense. Okay, so now we're going to start by adding... I start with black pepper. And then some salt. Just a dash, literally a dash, of nutmeg. All that's going to do is help to bring out some of the other flavors. And it adds just a hint of little, I guess sugariness isn't the right word, but...
A sweet spice, maybe?
A little sweetness, yeah. And now comes her favorite part. Wine. Just about 1/3 of a cup. I'm going to turn the heat up. That'll do. And now the next ingredient we're going to add after this is the cream. But we have to let the alcohol burn off, otherwise it'll curdle the cream. So this will take just a couple of minutes.
That's all the wine you use?
Yeah, literally just about 1/3 of a cup. It's more for helping to break down the garlic and the onions and get more flavor out of it than it is to add the flavor into the wine. Kind of like how you make have you ever heard of a vodka sauce? Vodka sauce, you don't use it to get the flavor of the vodka, you get it to extract more flavor out of the tomatoes. It acts as a solvent too. The package directions, dear, all these directions are in Italian. So I don't know how long this is supposed to cook, dear.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of choices for black pasta. The nutrition facts are in English.
Yeah, but you notice they're stuck on.
They're on the outside of the stuffing.
They're stuck on as a sticker. They're not printed on the label. Cooking with the wine, you're going to have a little bitty bubbles here. That's the wine cooking off. And you're going to want to wait till those bubbles more or less disappear. That's when you know the alcohol's cooked off and you can add the cream in.
One thing about cooking, most of the Gothic recipes I've seen, they use activated charcoal as their black coloring. And so that's a big thing for people who are on medicines, because it can absorb your medicine. And so people who are on certain medicines, you know, need to be careful. But this does not use any activated charcoal. It's squid ink.
So it's squid. Okay.
So I wonder if it's like people who have seafood allergies might have a problem with this. Because
that's a good question. I don't know.
So I don't really know.
I don't know. Y'all might want to Google that, people. But I want to take a quick side note here. Isn't she pretty? So now we're going to add the cream in. This is a little over 2 cups of cream.
I'm sure they didn't make it with.
It looks. Oh.
I'm sure they didn't make it with Gothic recipes in mind. So, what would be another purpose or reason for?
What would be the Italian motivation?
Yeah, for black pasta.
Yeah. So in just another couple of minutes, we're going to add the egg yolks. Then we're going to add the cheese, and then we're just waiting on that and the pasta to be done, and then.
Does it smell fishy to you?
I don't know. I haven't smelled it yet. It does smell a little. I smell that. Yeah.
A little bit fishy.
I don't know how that's going to change the flavor at all. But yeah, this is a fishy pasta. I'll turn that down a hair, and we're going to add this. Add these egg yolks. But you don't want to add the egg yolks all real fast, because you'll fry them otherwise. So I like to pour it in and just stir. And with a small amount of egg yolk, it's not going to be a big deal. There we go. That's all there is to that. That thickens that up. That'll sit for just a second, and then we'll add the cheese. That really does have some potent fishiness to it.
Yeah.
I wonder if the heat and from the bath, the water will cook that out, that smell out at all. But yeah, now that it's really cooking, yeah, that's potent.
It smells fishy.
So now we're just gonna add the cheese. Okay, so normally, dear, when I do this, I just add the pasta directly into the sauce and mix it all together. But I'm wondering, do we want to not do that in case we do not like this pasta? And that way we still have sauce and we can make regular old fettuccine. Let's demonize this this fettuccine here. So we're going to see.
It's turning it grayish.
It's turning it grayish. We're going to have to do more. I want to get this good mixed in before I add more though. Well, now that it's really mixing. Because of those light colors of the cheeses, it is kind of going almost a purplish gray. Alright, so let's add a little more. Alright, a whole lot in here.
You know Owen wouldn't eat it just because it looks
just
different.
because of the color, yeah. He'll eat it. He'll eat my regular fettuccine. Alright, we're going. Man, I think I kind of used damn near all of it. So now I get to try these noodles first. I don't taste the fishiness that we're smelling.
Good.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So if you're doing this, it's going to smell a little fishy, but that one bite I've had so far doesn't taste fishy.
I think it looks good and black.
Yeah, maybe it just needed to sink in a little bit there.
That doesn't smell good.
Yeah, that's the, apparently that particular spaghetti is colored black with squid ink, and I think that's what we're smelling. Alright, so at this point, folks, we're just waiting on the pasta to get done. I'm kind of curious to see how black this now is because of that food coloring? I want to see if that's going to wash off, so we're going to find that out real quick. Alright, so if you're cooking with this particular black food coloring dye, use a spoon you don't care about all that much because it doesn't. Now, maybe it'll come off more in the dishwasher, I don't know. But I do still, if you get close and see that there, I do still have some black spots on that. So I'm not so sure about that. But at this point, we're just kind of waiting on this spaghetti to be done. So I'm turning this basically off because this is cooked. You don't want this to burn. And as this sits a little bit longer in the heat, it does seem to be getting darker and darker. But now, let's go ahead and get this mixed. Now with traditional fettuccine, we're going to do it the same way. I just like to move it straight from the pasta bowl, which is why I've got a pasta fork. These are handy. Straight into the noodle or the sauce, and it makes it easier to mix the sauce and the noodles. You get a better spread. I just like it that way. And you know, I don't know if any of y'all are Star Trek: The Next Generation fans, but the Klingon, I think it's called Pa, the Klingon worm dish that they apparently eat alive, and Riker is unaware of that when he goes for a swap where he goes to be a first officer on a Klingon vessel for a while, and they serve him live Pa. These noodles look very similar, very, very similar, and I can't quite tell if these okay, so the noodles, apparently, I don't know how this dye works, but the dye is set enough into the pasta that, like, it's not gonna seep, because the water is still clear. Alright, so now that this is all in here, we're going to mix this together. And that is your Gothic fettuccine alfredo, I guess is what we're going to call this. Although it does look, I mean, you could say it looks blackish, I guess. But it also looks like it could pass for a very, very, very deep purple. I mean, very deep purple. And I'm out of focus again. I don't know how to fix that. Ah, there we go. Okay, that works. Right, so we'll get the pasta water drained out. And I know you wanted that food, but guess what? You can't get into it. So down you go. Oh, don't you hiss at me. Hiss at somebody who's scared of you, because you know I'm not. I will tell you one thing. This pasta absorbs a lot more of that sauce than when I use traditional fettuccine. So I'm not sure if they use semolina flour with this pasta when they made it. It is Italian, so maybe it's a little bit different. But yeah, this regular spaghetti noodles absorbed a ton of this sauce. So if she could find black fettuccine, I'd be interested to see how much liquid it absorbed. And if you want to garnish this with Italian flat parsley, you obviously can. I don't know if we'll be doing it for this. Depends on what she tells me that we're going to do.
We are done. Now, if we were doing it in true Gothic YouTube fashion, we would have it on a black plate.
We'd have it on a black plate?
With black forks, but honestly, when the other ones I've seen have done that, I couldn't really see the food on the plate. Because, you know, it's on a black plate, and so this way we can see it better. Alright.
Oh, here's one plate.
Get your fork and eat it.
Oh, I have to get it. I'm the one eating. What about you? Alright, here we go. Black fettuccine alfredo. Gothic fettuccine alfredo. I'm sure my Italian friend Michael Montero would be jumping around if he could see this mad at me.
For turning it black?
The squid ink, I can't taste it, but it de-intensifies the flavor of the fettuccine just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't taste bad. There we go. What?
Tastes like fettuccine alfredo.
Stick your tongue out.
Is it black?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it does. And maybe I didn't use as much seasoning as I sometimes use, because it just doesn't taste.
It's bland, but it's been bland lately.
Has it?
Yeah, I've been telling you. We've all been telling you.
What have I been doing that's different? I haven't been doing anything different.
It tastes like it has been lately.
Huh. Okay. Well, apparently maybe it wasn't the squiddy stuff. Maybe it was the way I cooked it. But yeah, it's a little bit bland, and I guess that's probably down to my seasoning. I'm not sure what I did differently, because it's the same recipe I always use. So I guess maybe I need to figure that out.